Welcome back to episode 11, friends. Thank you for joining us as we discuss Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I'm hoping the movie is as much of a staple in your household as it is mine. The book was fantastic, even after having seen the movie so many times. Michael Crichton tends not to disappoint. The activity for this one was so fun, too. So please give it a watch on YouTube if you can. Let's get into it.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, folks. Hi, this is Gendred. Obviously, you know that because you navigated to the URL for my stream. But tonight is our monthly book club, and I will be handing over the reins to our lovely and wonderful Annie on Film to be our DJ for the evening, our guidance counselor, our leader, and our book club master. So give it away, Annie.
Ooh, you heard that.
There's two me's.
There's two you.
Give it away, give it away, give it away
gone and
now.
I've duplicated.
What happened to Squanty's camera? What in the heck? Okay, yeah. Y'all keep
Yellow
talking.
dot.
I'll
It's the
fix
yellow
this.
dot.
I'll fix this. Y'all
Well,
keep do the
Okay,
introduction.
if you've
on
been
Squanty's
here,
camera.
if you've been here before, you already know what Sandy looks like. So the new, I want to say new guest, but he's not new, is V8, and then
I'm
Gendred,
returning,
and
not new.
then me, our returning guest, V8, who dominated the first couple episodes of our book club, which was great. We had a lot of fun with Warhammer. But this month, which is actually episode 12, so like we've been doing this for 12 months.
That's a year.
That's
There's
a
no way.
whole year. It's insane.
You guys
No,
started
wait.
last August?
Oh, that's right. You came in late.
Yeah.
You came in at the tail end of the Warhammer saga. But okay, so welcome to episode 12. This month we read Jurassic Park, which was so fun, very good. And I got something super fun for stream, which is this little fossil, which
Real.
Shut up. Disclaimer. These are not real dinosaur bones
Hey
in
there!
here. So, in case anybody was wondering, no real dinosaurs were harmed in the making of this plaster mold.
I mean, I'm gonna say those.
Except for when
tools
the
look
meteor
awfully,
dropped.
Awfully authentic.
These look so official.
They look really official.
Being honest, I am now an archaeologist. I don't know if you know that. So,
Dr. Jones.
I would just like to throw in real quick that I'm pretty sure all dinosaurs were harmed in the making of these fossils. That's how it works.
That's what I said.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
It's okay.
anyway, okay, so we read Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Everybody has seen the movie, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's the book. Thank you, Aaron. The book and the movie differ very slightly, but I'd say are pretty much almost spot on. What would you say, everybody?
Um,
They're close.
I mean,
I think it's like 60-40.
really?
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, the kids are a big part of the book, and I
They just
didn't
had to
want them
make everybody a little older.
I haven't watched
Yeah,
the movie in
well,
a solid minute. Like so.
I haven't either,
preface
but
that.
I
just
just
think I
watched the
remember-
movie.
I distinctly remember not wanting the children to be eaten by dinosaurs in the movie, whereas the book, the whole time, I was like, please let a raptor get
Yeah.
her.
They're at least
Stop
yeah.
talking.
100%. I was like, I can't get out of here. Anyway,
Okay.
so if
Who listened to the audiobook versus the physical?
I did a mixture
did.
of both.
I only did audiobook.
All right, I
yeah,
did a
I'm
mixture of
strictly
both as well.
audio.
I did a mixture of both, and I think the audio version made me dislike the kids more than like reading their
With
their
like
voices
his
was better.
voice.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so it's kind of a long summary, so I'm gonna maybe skip some stuff. But it's in 1989, strange animal attacks occur throughout Costa Rica. One of the species behind the attacks is believed to be, and I cannot, I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong, Proconsobognathus. Proconsognathus, an extinct species of dinosaur. Paleontologist Alan Grant and his paleobotanist colleague Ellie Sattler are contacted to confirm the animal's identity, but are abruptly whisked away by billionaire John Hammond, the founder of bioengineering firm InGen, for a weekend visit to a biological preserve he has established on Isla Nublar.
He
Obviously,
loves
Jurassic Park.
saying that.
Eastside.
Isla Nublar.
Yes, he said it every opportunity he had.
The reserve is a cover for the construction of Jurassic Park, a theme park showcasing living dinosaurs. Construction is nearly complete. The dinosaurs have been recreated using ancient DNA found in the blood inside insects that were fossilized and preserved in amber. Gaps in the genetic code were filled with reptilian, avian, or amphibian DNA. All dinosaurs are engineered to be female to prevent unauthorized breeding. The recent attacks have made Hammond's investors skittish. He needs Grant and Sattler to come to the park ahead of its reopening. They're joined by mathematician and chaos theorist Ian Malcolm, and a lawyer representing the investors, Donald Gennaro, both of whom are pessimistic about the park. Malcolm consulted before the park's creation is emphatic that the park will collapse. Foreshadowing? Hammond also invites his grandchildren. What a great choice. Tim and Alexis Murphy, or Lex as they call her. The park staff include engineer John Arnold, biotechnologist Henry Wu, game warden Robert Muldoon, PR manager Ed Regis, chief programmer Dennis Nedry, veterinarian Harding, and several laborers. While touring the park, Grant finds a velociraptor eggshell, seemingly proving Malcolm's assertion that the dinosaurs are breeding against the geneticist's design. Grant deduces that using frog DNA to fill the gaps in the dinosaurs' genetic code resulted in an environment that was conducive to dichogamy, causing some of the female dinosaurs to become males and establish a breeding population. Nedry, disgruntled with Hammond, commits corporate espionage for Louis Dodgson, an employee of InGen's rival, Biosyn. Activating a backdoor he wrote into the park's software, he disables the security system and steals frozen embryos for the park's 15 dinosaur species. We kind of know exactly what happened to him. The park staff try rebooting the park's computers to reverse Nedry's sabotage, but fail. Fail to notice that only the auxiliary power generator restarts. Its fuel supply soon runs out, shutting the park down again. The park's intelligent and aggressive velociraptors escape their enclosure before killing Arnold and Wu. Grant and the children make their way back to the island's control complex by rafting down a jungle river, narrowly escaping multiple dinosaur attacks. Grant switches on the park's main generators. Tim reactivates the park's systems. Gennaro contacts a supply boat traveling to the mainland from the island to recall it because the children and Grant saw little baby velociraptors on board. Hammond, walking outdoors while contemplating InGen's future, is killed by a pack of Proconsognathus after he falls down a hill and breaks his ankle. Grant, Sattler, Muldoon, and Gennaro find the wild raptor's nest, compare hatched eggs with the island's revised population tally, before realizing that the raptors are attempting to migrate off the island. Malcolm supposedly dies from his injuries. Everyone is evacuated by the Costa Rican Air Force, which has declared the dinosaurs hazardous and razes the island with napalm. The survivors are detained in a Costa Rican hotel. Weeks later, Grant is visited by Dr. Martin Gutierrez, an American doctor who lives in Costa Rica. Gutierrez informs Grant that an unknown pack of animals has been migrating through the Costa Rican jungle, indicating that the dinosaurs have escaped the island and been reintroduced to the Earth's ecosystem. So,
The small
it
creatures.
does leave.
The small creatures. They just call them compies. Like I can't pronounce that
Yeah.
actual name. Just compies.
I remember what he kind of said in the audiobook, like whatever, compies.
Yeah.
But they're like, I can't, I don't even want to try again.
We're not paleontologists.
Yeah, I'm an archaeologist, not a paleontologist, whatever. But so the book starts out with that little girl getting attacked by the same thing that killed Hammond, which is ironic, I guess, like full circle moment in the book. Ish.
So the book like starts out with the doctor in Costa Rica like seeing a man who was essentially like killed by raptors, and her like very confused about it, and then turn around. Then there's the girl on the beach who got attacked by the compies, and then there's babies, like reports of babies dying to compies, but like it's all sort of hushed and not reported, and oh, it's just a lizard, whatever. Yeah, like that part. It's like the beginning was very dark.
It was like gorier than I thought, as they go into like her being attacked and stuff. And then when it cuts to the nurse like checking on other patients' babies, and then it goes into the like the group of 3 of the compies eating children.
Oh yeah.
I'm like trying to be delicate about what I say because it's like not pretty.
It's not. It's not.
the
pretty.
when the nanny finds the baby.
And the
in the
reports
career.
it
Yeah.
as SIDS. I'm like, what the
As
fuck?
SIDS, yeah.
And they like described like the face was chewed off or something, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
As
Yeah.
a parent, SIDS is one of the like scariest fucking things that you learn about when your kids are like, babies. You're like, oh yeah,
What is it?
Sudden infant death syndrome. Like what?
Oh, and it's just they just die.
Yeah, well, like some people are like, oh, don't let them sleep on their chest. Don't that'll kill them. Don't let them sleep on their back. That'll kill them. Like, fucking nobody
Yeah.
fucking knows.
Yeah. It's completely random. There's no known cause for it, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So it's interesting that they use that. I like that. Really, sort of was an interesting part in the beginning for me that nannies were like reporting deaths as SIDS. I'm like, why would you report like there's creatures out there fucking eating babies? Like, why would you not let people know?
Because they said that in the book. They were afraid. She was afraid that they wouldn't believe her if she told the truth.
Look, show the baby.
I don't know. She didn't want
It
to lose her
was-
job.
Yeah, I think the book was a bit more leaned into the gore, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, for
Versus
sure.
the movie.
I mean,
Which
The
is
movie's
great.
pretty gnarly.
the movie's
Yeah.
pretty gnarly.
Like
Especially-
I just watched it to prepare for this, and it was very worthwhile to see the comparisons.
Yeah.
They totally made like the character of the lawyer went from in the book he was like this big macho man to the little dweeb he is on screen.
Yeah,
then-
it's kind of funny how they change him in the movie to be a more stereotypical
Lawyer.
tiny Jewish man as the lawyer, which is like, okay, Steven,
There's so many like character changes like that. I mean, Nedry is supposed to be this like hotshot college age, computer genius. Like,
But the book still made him out to be like the Newman looking guy.
Yeah, description-wise, I don't think it was that off, other than age.
But age is a
Yeah.
big part of it.
No, it is. But I'm just saying, like body type wise or anything, he didn't get changed as much as some of the other characters are like
Oh, yeah.
totally different people.
They're all. I think a lot of them are different, and it makes me curious how like did Michael Crichton like have any say in the movie at all, or did he care? Like, I don't know.
I
That's
remember
very
hearing
interesting.
in
I
the past that
kind
he
of
didn't like it. I don't remember though. It's been so long.
I don't think that's true. I watched some interviews with him about how pleased he was, and he did work with Spielberg on the movie like pretty closely.
Okay.
From his point of view, he took so I actually don't think that the characters are that different. I think that like they're like 75 to 80% the same. But there's like that 20%, 20 to 25% is like major differences between the movie and the book. For instance, my biggest issue with the book is an improve. Personally, I think the movie's better for the one reason that the reason that the grandkids are there is because Grant and Sattler are she wants kids and he doesn't. Or he's not sure. And they're together and they're like, you need to get used to kids because I want to have kids. And he's like, nah, fuck kids. And then the grandkids show up and the boy is obsessed with him. He's like, I've read all your books. I want to hang out. Which car are you going to be in? And he's like, which car are you going to be in? Because I'm going to be in the opposite book. And then it's the arc of Grant coming from I don't like kids and to I do like kids. Now that I've spent this whole movie with these two kids, now I'm actually like them. That is not in the book at all. The kids are there for no reason. There's nothing. He already loves kids when he meets the boy in the book.
Yep.
So there's absolutely none of that, which I think is such an insane improvement for a character arc in the movie. But I
Well,
think
even in the book,
I've-
Ellie is engaged to somebody.
Yep.
that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah,
not
I thought-
even.
They're not together.
I thought
In
in
fact,
the book
like
they do say that the children that Hammond brought the grandkids to try to sway the lawyer and
Well, yes. I'm
what's his
saying
name? Because he thought if they saw kids enjoying the park that it would help keep them
absolutely.
from shutting it down.
Absolutely. But where does that go? Like that goes absolutely nowhere where the arc of keeping them to make Grant like kids and have this story arc is so much more engaging and
he grows
so
attached
much
to
of a
them,
better.
like in the survival and yeah.
It played so well in the movie how Grant is like, I don't want to be around this kid at all. I dislike him. And the kid is so good at being like hyper fixated on him and wanting to ask him all these questions. And the way it's shot, like, they go back and forth in between the two cars and he's trying to like shut the door on him and stuff. It's like, I loved the book, but just to get my full view out of the way, like the movie's better. The movie's better, hands down.
Okay.
I wish they would have just only made the one.
That's the other thing too, is the book starts out the way the second movie starts out. They start the Lost World movie with chapter 1 of this. Like that, I was very confused when I started reading this and the girl gets bit by the little dinosaurs, because I was like, wait a minute, this is Lost World. This makes no sense.
I
And
thought that
then
several times
yeah,
during the book.
but
I was like, wait, this was not in the first movie. This was in one of the other movies.
and I know why they do that, because it's a huge plot for the first couple chapters until Hammond is like, let's go to Jurassic Park, and then it doesn't matter anymore.
Yep.
And then that whole
Yeah,
plot
it's
is dropped.
never-
Yeah,
It's never brought up again until the last like very end when they're talking to Grant again at the resort.
Exactly. It totally makes more sense to save that for something else. So, let me just look it up though real quick. Dun, 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 dun,
I didn't
dun.
like that in the book. Malcolm was balding.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum is a way better casting choice for Malcolm than whatever that
Yeah.
is in the book.
So
Yeah,
just
I
to
thought
just to
that was
confirm really quick, Crichton is co-author on the screenplay, not just the novel. So
Okay.
he sat down with David and translated it onto film and worked with them hand in
And
hand, and he was very pleased with it.
it's growing up, it was one of my favorite movies. It was one of the first movies that like I really got blown away in a theater, like watching. Just like the sound
Yep.
of like a THX theater with the dinosaurs and everything. Like that was probably one of the best movie theater experiences of my life.
That's
I
sweet.
hands down agree. 3?
94?
I just had it up. Hold on.
I don't know. Either way, I was like 9 or 10 when this came out. I
3.
loved this movie.
93.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I was 9 years old when this movie came out, and I loved it. The movie. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs
Yeah.
on screen, life size,
yeah.
like.
To the point that I had nightmares because I was afraid that it was real and the velociraptors were going to get to us somehow.
Oh God.
They're inside my house right now. That's cute.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think Hammond is the biggest, or not Hammond, but Malcolm is the biggest visual difference.
Yeah.
He's strikingly visually different, but everything like the boy and the girl are swapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
swapped the boy and the girl.
The only thing that was the same between the movie and the book, as on Malcolm, character-wise,
It's clothing.
was the clothing. Yeah, that's it. That's like it. Everything else is
Yeah.
completely different.
Well, I don't know if you caught this too. At the beginning or the end, he's like, yes, you're probably going to say that Ian Malcolm is based on this guy, but, you know, it's just a loose inspiration because he's based on a real guy.
I thought all
Uh,
of the tidbit with Malcolm and him like explaining his entire theory that this old Jurassic Park is a bad idea and it's gonna go to shit was really cool. Cause I'm not like, you throw like equations and formulas at me and I'll just like black out. I don't know. It doesn't register in my brain. I don't want to listen to it because it's too hard.
So there was a
But
part in
the
there,
way
like where
Which
where,
one?
where they were. I'm on a podcast. Do you need something? Come on, give me a good night hug. Good night.
Night.
Love you. Bye. See you tomorrow. All right. So there's a part where someone's explaining like the Malcolm theory, but it's not Malcolm that's
Yeah.
explaining it. It's somebody else, and they're talking about the water droplets running down the hand. And I'm like, in the movie, Malcolm explains that theory as like chaos theory
Yeah.
and like how things are different, and it goes so much better than it does in the book. Like I think,
sorry, go ahead.
I just think like this lends credence to the whole like fact that the movie's better than the book.
Yeah, so they use that because now Malcolm is not a balding, like ugly scientist. He's hot ass fucking. What's his
He's
name?
a sexy Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. And so,
Hot off
and,
the
and they
fly.
tie that in. Hot off the fly, exactly. But they tie that in with the Ellie and Grant relationship now. So now they're together. So now Grant is like, what if we throw a wrench in that and we have Malcolm hit on Ellie? And so it's a total like sexual tension scene where he explains it. So you get that point across, that scientific point across, but also add this character development between Malcolm and Ellie and Grant. And it's like, oh my God, this whole scene is so much better. Like, I think the book is amazing groundwork. Like, there's nothing wrong. Crichton is a genius. It's an amazing concept for a story, and he laid, a huge amount of the groundwork for the story. But the screenplay and what Steven Spielberg did absolutely elevated this concept to the 10th level.
Yep.
Like, absolutely.
Yep.
Definitely improved on it.
Annie, I am like in like I'm enraptured
Really?
by
You
the
wanna know
work you're
what it is?
doing. No, no,
You
no,
want to
but
know which one I got?
nope, nope. I'm just sitting here going like, God, I would have to be like sitting there with a vacuum and getting rid of the the extra stuff all around it constantly.
Yeah.
I love that it's like a little box.
Yeah,
Like,
ditto.
I would lose my shit.
It
I
comes
think I
with,
would
like,
have
a
already
little-
hit it. I would have already hit it with the hammer at this point and broke off big chunks.
I don't want to keep like hammering it.
Make it
Because
too
it's, like,
fast.
loud.
Take your time.
You don't hear that at all.
Oh.
Yes.
For
Oh.
the record.
Nope.
Oh, perfect.
Nope. You can bring out
Um,
a jackhammer.
Well, I don't know about that.
We've got limits here. So every character I thought was like great, but I like was the intention of the book to make me like really dislike the little girl
Maybe.
because
No.
I
I
don't know if it was the
hated
intention,
her.
but it seems to be universally what happened to everyone.
It was the
around.
result. I don't think it was the intention, and that's why they fixed it in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I'll tell you what.
Because-
I hated Hammond in the book. I actually liked him a little bit in the
Yeah.
movie. He was much more personable.
Mhm.
But in the book, he just came across as this like whiny old rich man.
Yep.
Well, and then like, so it starts out what like the T-Rex attack because the power went out. They get stalked by the T-Rex, and then the power comes back on for a little bit, and he's all like, "Where are the children? Where are the children?" But that slowly turns into,
Did you get my
when is
T-Rex?
where's my T-Rex? Did you contain like some of the other animals? What about the raptors? And like it becomes less about the children and more about the park,
Oh yeah.
which is like this guy seems cool, but like he's evil, you know,
Oh,
to a degree.
Yeah.
He's fanatical about it, and
Yeah.
like in the movie, he comes across as much more human, I would say.
He's more interested in the well-being of his grandchildren in
Yeah.
the movie
Mhm.
than
One of
the
the
book.
only things or one of the things that I remember the most from the movie is that every opportunity he has in the movie, he always makes sure to say that we spared no expense, even if that's blaringly not true.
Yeah.
And I want to
And I-
say that's who says that in the book? Isn't it the
Definitely
lawyer who
isn't
says
him.
that? No.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is
It's,
the lawyer.
I was
who says it.
surprised who said it.
Yeah, I don't.
Which
I-
is funny.
It might be a lawyer. I remember it wasn't him, and it was only said once in the book, as opposed to the movie where it's said like 50 times.
Well,
Yeah, that's like his catchphrase.
in the book, it's the lawyer because like up until the moment he dies, like he's like constantly trying to tell them, oh no, it's okay, you know, we spared no expense on this or that or whatever.
Oh no, it's not the lawyer. It's the PR guy. It's
Regis,
Regis. Yeah,
because Regis was also the one who was like,
because Regis is
had
working
the
with him
babies
and
with
to
the
try
kids.
to get it open. The lawyer wants to
Oh.
shut it down.
The lawyer's
he
the
doesn't
one-
care.
okay.
He spared no expense.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
I
got it right.
thought.
You got
okay.
it right. I got it mixed up.
Yeah.
they also like made the lawyer into some kind of beefcake.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about. Is like in the movie,
Yeah.
they're like, let's make him more of a classic lawyer, like you know, just whatever.
Why
but-
did they try to make him into like this football player in the book? Like I don't understand the choices, but whatever. They
I
were
just
made.
I think Michael Crichton is a science guy. I think he loves the science, but his like narrative prowess is just he needs a little guidance on like characterization and motivation, and he knows how to like create a very intriguing, scientifically realistic sci-fi story, and then the rest is kind of like I'm gonna do the best I can, but like clearly it's not, the characters are not fully thought out. Like they're much more fleshed out, and everybody has a little arc. Like going back to Hammond, for instance, he's very one note in the book. He's very just like a billionaire who wants this thing done, and just because he's rich and he wants this done. Where in the movie he's like starts out as like a kid. He's like, you gotta come see this park. It's amazing. We spared no expense. He's so happy and he's so like, your guys are gonna go crazy when they see the long neck, you know. He's like, yeah, see, this is pretty cool. And he's like, oh, you know. But then by the end, he's like, he's so mad. He's like, I can't believe this fucked up. Like, this was supposed to be my thing. It's his little baby, and he has this little arc of like, maybe I did do something wrong. Maybe I wasn't as careful as I should have been.
Hey,
Like,
partner!
everybody has a little arc in the movie where there really is no character growth in the book, to be honest. Everybody is the same person they are at the end. They just went through a crazy dinosaur
Experience.
story.
Yep. Hi, casual. Welcome in. I
Do you
agree.
have any other discussion questions?
I have discussion questions.
Yeah.
What do you mean other?
Oh, I mean, I guess we were just generally discussing our thoughts. Seems like everybody likes the movie more, and like, I get it. Points were made. But yeah, no, I think I'm leaning into like I do like the movie more because the character arcs are better. Because I didn't really think like, oh yeah, beginning Ellie is really the same as end Ellie, which now kind of makes me sad. But whatever.
A lot of the tension too. I was like, oh man, I can't wait for him to run and turn the power on while they're climbing over the fence, and for one of the kids to get blasted. You know, doesn't happen in the
Yeah.
book.
Nope, doesn't happen
And I
at
was
all.
like,
Thank
oh
you for that, too,
come
'cause I remember
on.
that from the movie, and it didn't.
Like,
Yeah.
When it didn't happen, I was like, wait, what?
When is
Yep.
Lex gonna get electrocuted? God, I hope
Yeah.
it's soon.
Dude, seriously. Every opportunity for something bad to happen, I was like, please.
Oh
let it
my
happen.
God, when they were
And
like,
it never did, and I was like, why did we
When-
supposed to listen to her?
Grant was like, her life jacket popped up, and I was like, oh hell. And then it was like, oh, and then she appears, and I was like, God damn it, she's still here.
Stupid plot armor.
Yeah, but okay. Discussion
Okay,
question.
so
Go ahead.
which character do you think is the most prominent, and why? Like, who do you think is the main character in the book?
Because what would you say the movie was Dr. Grant, right?
They kind of center it around them because you go from the intro dinosaur or the raptor incident to them.
Yeah, his dig site.
Yeah. There is a little in between that I really hoped was in the book that wasn't, but it's not really relevant.
I mean, this answer is going to be terrible, but I mean, the park is the central character.
I think that's a great answer.
I don't think like in the movie, definitely Grant, because he is such a central character, and he shows to be this like hero and is like, you know, the protagonist throughout the whole book, the whole movie. But I think in the book,
Yeah.
like it doesn't focus on him as much.
No, the book I think focuses more on Tim than anybody else.
Yeah, agreed.
He's the one that notices the raptors on the ship that's leaving. He's the one that fixes the computer to get the power back on. He's a little 10-year-old whiz kid that knows everything about everything, and for the most part doesn't do anything, but he does towards the end when it matters.
Yep.
I think he
Doesn't
helped-
save the day or
like,
anything, but
I think he was like he took care of his sister like in a lot of places. Like I
Yeah.
think in the movie, even though in the movie they sort of change roles and he's the younger sibling, he still like plays a more prominent role, I think, in a lot of ways.
Because he's the one who likes dinosaurs.
Right.
In the movie, she is there by obligation. Like, I'm going to a theme park. to see my grandpa.
Yep.
Tim is like, I'm going to go see Dr. Grant. I've read all his books. I know all about the dinosaurs. Like, he is in a better position to protect his sister because he knows more about what's going on, even though he's the younger sibling
Agreed.
in the movie.
Agreed.
But I think the Park and Tim are excellent answers. Do you think that cloning made the dinosaurs more susceptible to violence? And how do you feel that cloning people and animals, how do you feel about it like in today's time? It's like kind of like Dolly Parton clones her dogs. Like
It's
she
a
gets the same
thing.
dog over and over again.
Do you remember when it first came out and it was like that sheep?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh my god!"
So first part, do you think cloning made the dinosaurs more susceptible to violence?
Good question.
Like, how?
Like in
Because we can't complete their DNA and had to fill it with stuff,
No.
and like,
maybe,
I
I
don't-
mean,
I don't.
I don't think it did.
No. I mean, we don't know what they were really like, so we have no basis for
Exactly.
comparison to say whether or not they were
Yeah.
like negatively or positively impacted by. And obviously, the book and the movie portray them as like, hey, this is a theme park with dinosaurs, and yet we see they're like, they are vicious killing machines. At least the ones that are intended to be, right? The Stegosaurus doesn't seem to be a vicious killing machine, or like any of the other non-aggressive ones. Like, I think there's something to be said about Crichton depicts the ones that are supposed to be scary as scary.
yeah.
but
I think
it's
there's
such
also
a wild concept too of like, we're birthing these ancient animals who have never seen this environment before, but we're trying to recreate their environment, but we've never seen that before.
Right.
Like,
And
It's just a
they talk
whole-
about that in the book, though. The environment, even though they tried to recreate the environment as much as possible, like there's no way, like, because the oxygen levels in the atmosphere are different. Like it's not the same planet that it was when dinosaurs roamed.
And on top of that, they didn't even do all the proper things they should have been doing to make that work anyway. As Ellie points out
Yeah,
at one point,
was
she's
it the
like,
poison
those
that-
plants shouldn't be anywhere near water. That's going to poison the water supply. But you're
Right.
surrounded this lake with those plants.
I always thought that was dumb in the movie too, because so that's one carryover is that, except for in the movie, there's like a triceratops that's sick, and she gets out of the car and goes and helps it,
Well, that's in
and
the book. It's in the book too, but it's a stegosaurus instead of a
It's
triceratops.
different.
well,
But I
maybe
thought the
yeah, I
ailment
think it's
was
them.
different, too.
The ailment is different, but it's
Yeah.
the same thing where like, hey, this plant is poisonous, and the park ranger goes, oh yeah, we know that, but the animals don't eat them. She's like, how the fuck do you know that? How do you know they don't eat? Like, clearly, what if they are eating them and that's why they're sick? Like, you can't just say like, oh yeah, they don't eat them. What?
Well,
It's just strange.
they did go into that in the book, at least. I don't think they covered as much in the movie, but in the book they go into like, well,
Because in the movie, she just found the berries in the poop.
yeah,
And was like,
yeah,
problem
yeah.
solved.
But in the book, they're like, no, go look at them, and the bushes have like zero signs of being eaten at all. Like, if they're eating them, they're not eating these, like, obviously. But then she's like, yeah, but they have they use rocks to like mash up their food in their belly just like birds do, and so she looks.
Right.
She's like, well, they regurgitate the rocks occasionally. It looks like when they're putting the rocks back in there, they're getting some berries in, and they're like, oh shit! Like, it was a
Yeah,
that was
Everybody
It's-
who
there's
is
more of
worried
an
to the
explanation,
park
but-
is, like confused all the time. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
right.
Yeah. I did like
Which
that
is
explanation.
fine.
I thought that was actually a really good idea. That the thought that it's when they're picking up the stones that they're right, they're not eating the bushes, but they're still getting the berries, so they're still getting sick from those bushes that she told you shouldn't be here.
right. Ellie was still right, and the science. That's the other part. The scientists are right. Like the fucking billionaire.
Didn't the park
so right.
ranger know that though?
I would
Like,
think so.
again, they're playing God. Like
Okay, hold on. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I have questions about playing God. No spoilers.
What was your other part of this question? You asked about like how do we feel about cloning in the world of today?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
You're like, whatever, move on.
I'm fine with it. Clone shit. I don't care.
No, I think
People
the world,
know food stuff that we can use for food.
You don't
fine.
think you want? So you'd be fine with cloned food, but like not a cloned person.
Yeah.
I have issues with this entire like conversation just because like I think
I should specify. I don't mean animals we turn into meat. I mean like plants.
or
Like
pets,
genetically engineered
in the
seeds
case
and
of
stuff like
like
that.
Dolly Parton, are you okay with that?
No, that's just weird.
What's weird about that?
But that's not saying you have an issue with it. That's just
It's
saying
not
you
the
don't.
same. It's not the. The fact that they're even calling it cloning. I don't know. I mean, I guess it is technically, but it's not the same animal, regardless of what you say. It's different.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it could be the same because it's not. I don't know how to word
It's
this,
genetic.
okay.
So this is a
genetically the same.
it's
but
genetically
not
identical, but
grown and
the
raised in the same
personality,
Yeah.
this is a like genetic versus spirit situation. Like spiritually, the dog will be different. It'll have a different temperament, a different personality, a different because that's not genetics. That's like nurture versus nature. So
Yeah,
like
this isn't Assassin's Creed. There's not DNA memories.
exactly. Dolly Parton has genetically the same dog, but one might be a morning eater and then the other one is like an evening eater. You know, like they have little different nuances. So it's I think that's a very interesting question that does apply to this book where like sure, that's a raptor, but is it a raptor? You know, like is it really
If you fuck with the
the
DNA
same?
to recreate it, is it really a raptor at this point?
Well,
No.
yeah, that's
I don't.
That's a
think
whole
so.
other thing. I think if I'm, yeah, it's hard to say, but like if we're at the point where like, well, we don't have the DNA, and someone's like, just put frog DNA in there, I'd be like,
Did we learn anything
no,
from Jurassic Park?
no, yeah, exactly.
No, thank you.
Okay, so how does the character of Dr. John Hammond embody the tension between scientific progress and ethical responsibility?
Neither. He
Let's-
doesn't
Let's
embody that.
define ethics.
No, hold on,
Let's
hold on, hold on.
define-
He doesn't do either of those things. He's just the money man.
Yeah, he is so invested in this money making scheme of like recreating creatures from long ago. Like he talks about, oh yeah, and we've already got plans for Jurassic Park in Japan going. He's like, we're gonna have, like, I may not live to see it all, but we're gonna make so much money. Like he gives zero shit about ethics. There's no like embodiment of ethics there.
No, how does he embody the tension between those two? So he allows money and gives money to somebody who does care about scientific progress, such as Wu. Like Wu is like, I'm extreme sure you're gonna give me $1 billion. Same thing with Grant.
Grant.
Like
Yep.
you're gonna give me a ton of money to do this, but also he lacks that ethical responsibility that Malcolm brings to the table.
He doesn't,
Oh, yeah.
and he never liked Malcolm, and you can always feel the tension between them because he's like, well, Malcolm just doesn't believe,
God damn
and
it, Malcolm!
he's critical. Yeah, he doesn't understand what we're trying to do, but he does.
He
And it's
understands
just
it better
like-
than Hammond does for sure.
Yeah, and he's our character that is like more so our voice of reason
Yeah.
to
So
recognize the fault in everything Hammond thinks is okay.
here's how I see it, right? Hammond is the spare no expense, let's make a park, it's for the kids because kids will bring in money. The rich kids, he says at one part.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm is the ethics side. Why are we doing this? Who said this was okay? Grant is right in the middle. He's like, I'm going to be out of a job because dinosaurs are going to be real and it's very fucking cool. But oh shit, we're going to die in this park. Like he's sort of like that middle person, which is so there's like this interesting spectrum between them all.
Right. That's why I thought it was interesting to think of him as him embodying the struggle between those two things, because he kind of is the impetus for this paradigm. Without him, there is no paradigm between this insanely this insane jump in scientific progress with also this, if not more, ethical responsibility than ever before. You know what I mean? Like, he's so excited and rich about this stuff that he may hire the right people, but at the end of the day, he makes the final call. He goes, no, rush it, put it out, right? And maybe they're like, huh? Okay.
I don't want to interrupt. No, you're on a tangent. I don't want to interrupt.
I'm done.
I'm sorry.
You interrupted.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you think Hammond justifies his evilness by hiring these people who actually care because he only cares about money?
I think that's a great question. What is Hammond? Is Hammond fundamentally evil? Like, does he have malice in his heart? I do not think so. I think he legitimately wanted to do something good, but was too excited and too out of touch to make it happen. He's not the right person. And he tried to put people in place to help him make that happen. But at the end of the day, like I said, he makes the final calls and he's irresponsible. But I don't think he's fundamentally an evil person. I don't think he has malice.
He tries to
Personally.
make up for it by hiring people like Wu. And
I think
he
he
did
tried.
hire Malcolm.
I think
Exactly.
he took advantage of Wu. He took the guy who was the best at what he did, but also very young and didn't know better, and took advantage of that. And he's like, I can get this guy to do whatever I want because he's too young to know better.
True, and
he
I'm going
did
to
the
throw a
same thing.
bunch of money at him.
Yeah, and he did the same thing with Nedry, because Nedry, the whole reason Nedry's disgruntled and wants to take the embryos is because of all the extra bullshit they made him do that he did not sign on for after the fact. When he was done with what he was supposed to be doing, they're like, no, y'all, you need to do this, and this,
stuff,
and we're not
yeah.
paying you extra. That's what we hired you to do already.
So do you think he is genuinely evil?
I don't know that he's genuinely evil. I think he's more indifferent to, I want what I want and I'm gonna get it because I have the money to make it happen one way or another.
I think he lacks a moral compass.
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily evil. I think he just that thought doesn't even cross his mind. He wants something and he's gonna get it.
The reason I say I think he lacks a moral compass is because, like, specifically the Nedry situation, like, he screwed over Nedry. Like, Nedry, he made a deal with Nedry. We're gonna pay you a lot of money, and then they kept, like, as a software engineer, looking at it from Nedry's point of view, they kept trying to screw him. They kept expanding the scope. They kept making it bigger. They kept dumping more variables on him without giving him information about what was going on. Like Nedry as a problem within the book. Nedry is a problem within the book. Is created by Hammond's greed. He wants his park. He wants this project. He wants, to make this thing. Which there are definitely good things about it. Like, making something like Jurassic Park in reality could be really fucking cool. And I think Wu, if Wu had been given, like, the proper, like, authority or whatever, Wu was like, we need to reset this batch. He's like, we should make these creatures more docile. Like he wanted, like if Wu had been at the reins, the park would have probably been an actual success and not a catastrophe, I think. But Hammond just like
It just
fucking
would have taken
pushing.
a lot longer to get to that point. He didn't want to wait.
Hammond, I think
Yeah.
Hammond knew his like Hammond at one point says like, I won't see this. I won't get to see this. Like he knew his time was limited and he pushed.
Mm-hmm. Just
Great.
like Jerry Jones trying to see a Super Bowl without Jimmy Johnson.
The act of bringing extinct species back to life raises questions about humans assuming the role of creators. What are the various characters' attitudes towards this notion, such as Dr. Ian Malcolm's chaotic perspective versus Henry Wu's ambition?
Say the question again.
What are the various characters' attitudes toward the notion of humans assuming the role of creators?
The God question. Okay. Obviously, Malcolm doesn't want to. Malcolm's like, we're fucking playing with fire. Nature finds a way. When I heard the "nature finds a way" quote in the book, or
God.
like read it, I was like, it's in the book. Yes, okay. Like, because you
Me
know,
too.
there's always like stuff that gets added to screenplays that's like really good. Like, and I would say, I was worried that there were going to be parts of the movie that I really liked that weren't in the book, but I would say it's like a lot of the parts I liked were in there. But Malcolm definitely plays the part of, this is a bad idea. I've said it from the beginning. This is a bad idea. We should not be doing this. Like, you know, it was very clear that he was the moral compass of the book, and that he was completely disregarded by everyone.
I liked the exchange between him and Hammond just because I liked seeing Hammond mad. Because it's like he invited Ian Malcolm 2 times to the island, and both times Malcolm came to the same conclusion. And I think the second visit, which is the one we see in the book, Hammond was like, this time I'll get him to come around. And
Yeah. Hammond's convinced I'm right, and I will make you think I'm right. Like, Hammond's trying to force his viewpoint onto Malcolm, and Malcolm's like, no, fuck you. Like, Malcolm
I'm not
is
an
so
idiot.
confident, and like that's the beauty of Jeff Goldblum playing that character. He plays the confidence. He's like, yeah, this is gonna fail gloriously, and I'm here for it. He's like, whatever. Like, I don't know too many other actors that could have pulled off like that particular character as well, and their egos are clashing because Malcolm is obviously very egotistical as well.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, Jeff Goldblum is the perfect choice for somebody to exude that kind of confidence, and like, it was just great. So when he died in the book, I was actually kind of sad. Or we don't know, I guess. Assume he's dead. I don't know. I don't want him to be dead. But
We don't know.
'tis a mystery.
I think overall, I think 100% of the casting was great. Even the changes. I think the changes were good.
Agreed.
And if they were changed drastically, they were changed drastically to move the story forward in a more engaging way.
Agreed.
I agree.
Everybody's so perfect because I think the guy who plays Hammond plays off Jeff Goldblum so well
Oh, yeah.
and more characterizes this childlike giddiness with a $1 billion bank account where it's like, yeah, you may not believe me, but I could pay you to believe me, like a kid would. Like a young kid would just be like, no, here you go, here, just let me do my thing. Which is he does in the book, but it's so much more clear and exemplified in the performance of that actor. It just all comes together in this such a great way in the movie. It's just phenomenal. But we wouldn't have it without the book. You know, the book is such a a good groundwork. He laid so much of it, like the freaking phrases. I was so surprised that the phrases were in the book. Spared no expense, life finds a way. There's one that isn't. One of them was not, and I wish I wrote it down. But
Yeah, there were so many
oh,
things.
the one that's not in the book is hold on to your butts.
I knew
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I was waiting on that too, and I was like, wait, where's that line?
Yep.
when do
Yeah.
I hold on to my butt?
However, though, you guys were just talking about Nedry, and I actually think I like the book better in that sense because in the movie we don't really understand his motivation.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
He just is kind of
he's a
mad.
side character in the
Just
movie
a
that
disgruntled employee.
yeah, and it also may be that it's just been so long since I watched it, but I don't feel like in the movie they explain very well like what it is he even did.
Exactly.
He's just a guy that's there that drinks a lot of soda, and then
He's a
steals
high.
stuff for no apparent
He's
reason.
He knows
a
lot of
coder.
tech.
He
Yeah.
knows a lot, and only he knows it. But you don't know what exactly and why he's giving. We also get so much more information about the competitor and Dodson.
Like
We
the
get so
boardroom
much more
meeting and all
Dodson.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was very surprised about that.
I liked. I don't. I would also say I liked Samuel L. Jackson's character playing off of Nedry in the movie. Like, I thought that was a good, like, casting piece there as
Caring.
well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the only
Both
movie
are
where he
great.
doesn't get to say motherfucker.
What does the novel suggest about the unpredictability of complex biological systems and the potential consequences of human interference? Which I think we were talking about with the bushes.
Yeah.
You know, I think like that kind of stuff. We think we have all the answers, but we don't. And
Well, it's
we
like,
try to
until
recreate
it
these
happens.
things. Well, the other thing too is like the zoos that we have with these faux biological biomes are of animal species that we live with, now. Where like there's also like this huge misconception that like humans and dinosaurs live together, but like we never occupied this planet together. There was never an interlap between humanity and dinosaurs. So we're bringing them, like you were saying earlier, Gendred, into literally like a different planet. Like oxygen levels are different. Like not just us being here is different, but like all these little tiny things are different that we don't think about.
There's only 3 species that I know of off the top of my head that were even around then that are still around.
Yeah. What do you got? Like
Crocodiles,
turtles,
sharks, and turtles.
turtles. Yeah, sharks.
So the other part I'll say is that, like, my favorite science quote is like how and I think this is actually in the book, how like T-Rex didn't live at the same time as like what was the other one, like it's like, and yet they're in the park together too, like that part is also like really interesting because not only are we're bringing back creatures from times in the past, we're bringing back creatures from different times in the past.
Yeah, they never
Totally.
interacted with each other.
Yeah.
I think
Good call.
The way it's been said is like we as a species are closer in time to like T-Rex than T-Rex is to whatever else, and like that always blows my mind.
Is that in the book?
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
it's in the.
book.
They
Is
say
that
it in the book. It is. Yeah, I can't remember which species it is, but Wu, I think it's Wu, mentions it. Somebody mentions it. That exact thing, that they're like these when they're explaining that these species never interacted with each other. He's like, he says essentially what you just said. He's like, we're closer to the time of the T-Rex, then the T-Rex is the time of the
Stegosaurus.
Triceratops or whatever, or
Stegosaurus.
was it Stegosaurus? Yeah.
Yeah, because T-Rex lived at during the end of the Cretaceous period, whereas Stegosaurus was like from the Jurassic period.
Interesting.
T-Rex was 66 million years ago. Stegosaurus and others were 150 million years ago. Wow.
I had to explain to my nephew when we went to the museum that like humans and dinosaurs were not around at the same time because he was getting a little freaked out. Like they could eat me. I'm like, no, they couldn't. It was not a thing. But which is like wild.
One day.
Here's a fun
Would you
one.
go to Jurassic Park if it was real?
Okay, bitch.
Sorry.
Take my questions.
Table that. Table that. Unless was that the question you were gonna ask?
Yes.
That would be wild.
Yes, it was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What
Ask
was the
your
question,
question.
Aaron? I don't remember.
It was, would you go to Jurassic Park? Who did it better? Me or Annie?
W's in
Annie.
chat.
Oh my god. I'm not engaging with that question.
We're gonna fight. And
One-
Ginger's gonna bounce.
One's in the chat for Squandy, two's in the chats for Annie.
Chat's asleep.
I would absolutely go.
Chat. You would?
I'm sorry, but I would be dead. I would be dead. And I accept that.
It, like, okay. If Jurassic Park opened tomorrow and some billionaire had built it in secret and or trillionaire or whatever, and you know it was open to the public, and I could afford to go, I would go.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's a
other
big
thing.
caveat too. He was talking about
If-
charging like $20,000 a ticket.
If the book was never written, obviously this is a cautionary tale, and I would be like, oh fuck that, no, of course not.
Exactly. It's assuming.
However,
assuming that.
If we were in the world of the book,
yep, I would go. If I was
and
the
Hammond
grandkid,
was- and Hammond was Elon Musk because he's the most realistic person to actually try to
Exactly.
do
Oh
that.
God.
Oh, if it was Elon Musk, I would definitely not go.
that's
I
actually
would
very
go.
true.
I would go, but I would know that I would die.
I trust nothing to Elon.
No,
I mean,
one
think
of the
about it,
dumbest
though.
people alive.
He's got the money to try to pull something like that off. All
Could
the
be working
vehicles
on
at the
cloning
park were
dinosaurs
electric.
right now.
Like it's right there. Instead of going to Mars, he brings back the dinosaurs.
So good. Another fun one. What? Where is it? Oh,
Annie, are you having
when
fun?
the dinosaur.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Look at this. Look at this shit, man.
Sorry. Let's go ahead. When the
It's
dinosaurs.
real.
When the dinosaurs escaped, which character would you want to lead and protect you, and why?
Grant,
I thought you were
easy,
gonna say who would die. I
Easy.
got that one.
easy. Grant. Yeah.
No,
Muldoon.
Muldoon.
Well,
He had
dude.
a rocket launcher. He was prepared.
Yeah. Except he fucking lost it. He put it in a car, ready to go, and then it fucking disappeared. Like, yeah. He was
It
prepared.
disappeared. Ned Reese stole it. Who
Yeah,
plans
exactly.
on corporate espionage going on?
Look.
Also,
Although
he
Ned
asked
He
for more
should've.
than one, and
No.
Hammond. He asked for more than one, and Hammond wouldn't give it to him.
Exactly. So he should have fucking
He knew
carried
one
that
wasn't
fucking
enough.
thing around instead of leaving it in the car.
It's
Nobody
bad, no
wants to carry one
expense.
of those around. They weigh like 80 pounds.
Look, my point still stands. He might have thought ahead. He didn't act as like prepared as he should have been. Motherfucker, if I'm gonna be in a park with dinosaurs and this fucker is like still under construction, I would be walking around with some major hardware. Like fucking, I would not be very far from a loaded gun at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he has a gun on him almost the entire movie when he's alive.
I kind of like learning about his history with parks because, like, he had been in so many parks in the entire world. He
Yeah.
was part of an opening of a park in every continent. It seemed like,
Yeah, when
which
he
I thought
like
was super cool.
when they found the lawyer's dead body, and he
Leg?
was, yeah, he and the other guy was like kind of like, oh, he's like, no, he's like, don't worry, if you know, then they found the car. He's like, trust me, if the kids are dead, you're not going to see anything here. It's very rare that predators leave something behind. It's like, oh
Yeah.
wow.
I kind of liked the T-Rex scene from the book and the T-Rex scene from the movie. Like, I enjoyed both of those.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. There's only one in the movie, right? There is no
Yeah, I don't remember
They didn't have
illicit
the mini.
T-Rex.
I don't
in the
remember
movie.
the small one in the movie or in the yeah.
Yeah. I liked that they'd bring it back randomly just to screw with the older one. Like it would just show up and like it showed up and tried to steal its kill, and it's like, oh fuck you, and went after it
Oh.
instead of the humans.
There was okay. I think during the car chase scene, there was something I thought I remembered there. Fuck.
Wait,
Was there-
Aaron, are you on board with Muldoon, or did you want somebody else to save you? Or
Save you.
No,
I
I said
think Muldoon
Muldoon.
would save me, but like I would learn the most with Grant.
See,
And Grant seems like fine too, but like Muldoon would have the weapons.
I think Muldoon is prepared for a fight. I think Grant is prepared for survival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I was disappointed that it in the book, Muldoon never said "clever girl."
Yeah, I mean,
True.
at the same time, Muldoon died. Grant survived.
Muldoon died.
Yeah, but Grant survived because Muldoon died.
Muldoon.
That's still not the point.
I mean, it kind of is.
Don't
Listen.
Listen,
don't sass me, boy. I don't know. We've kind of covered a lot of these. The pursuit of profit leads to shortcuts and safety measures. That's
Yes.
just John Hammond's character growth arc in the book.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah, do it.
Since you recently watched the movie,
Mm-hmm.
is the aviary in the movie, or is that in the second movie? I don't remember that scene being in the original movie.
The aviary is not in a movie, no. Nope.
It's the central
It's in-
focus in like the third one.
I was gonna say it's in one of them because they definitely do that at some point, but I didn't remember that being in the original movie at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they spent quite a bit of time going through there.
And talking about like why the aviary isn't open because they're all territorial, but they didn't know that until
Yeah.
they bred the dinosaurs.
Surprise, surprise. Bad things happen when you bring things back to
Imagine
life
that.
that you know nothing about other than what they look like from bones.
Yeah.
Bones.
Bounce.
What lessons can we draw from the portrayal of the novel's issues between cloning, genetic modification, and the boundaries of scientific progress? Like, I think where we are now is closer to like the other Michael Crichton project, Westworld, where like AI needs to be more ethically regulated. We definitely need some more AI regulation because we're getting a little crazy with that. So
Yeah. Hell yeah.
there's
I
that.
agree.
That's all I got though.
Those are great.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
We're gonna come up with some more questions. Annie's not done yet, and I need to see this bone.
Bounce. I'm trying. I'm getting covered in plaster. Going as fast as I can. This one's like more fun. I like these ones. I did really enjoy the paint by numbers one as well. Yeah. If a place like Jurassic Park existed, 100%, do you think they would have you sign a waiver saying, like, if I die,
Oh, definitely.
I will not sue you?
Yeah.
They make my kids sign one of those to go to the trampoline park. There's no way they're letting you in
Oh,
Jurassic
shit.
Park for that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
If trampolines, then dinosaurs for sure. It's a cool concept. Cloning is a cool concept in theory.
Wait, speaking of that, did you guys hear about what Disney did recently?
I was just
Tell
trying to
me.
decide in my head if we should bring that up or not.
Because
Yeah.
like that's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
They'll
What? I didn't hear it.
if you sign up for InGen Plus streaming service, then you could just go to Jurassic Park and die, and they won't. You can't sue
They're
them.
not held liable because you signed the TOS.
Oh.
That happened at
So,
Disney recently. They're going
is-
through that currently.
Would you say Hammond is Walt Disney like?
Yeah,
Did they make that comparison in the book? Did they say
He's-
anything about Walt Disney and Hammond? I don't remember.
he's like a
So,
conglomeration of Elon, Bezos, Disney, whoever. You know, he's a rich billionaire baby man.
One of my favorite descriptions when they're talking about Hammond is when they're like sitting I don't know if it's in the helicopter or whatever, or if they're in his office and they're like his feet don't touch the ground when he's sitting in his
Yes.
chair because he's
I
so
forgot
small.
about that. I loved that. Oh God, I wish they did that in the movie. I remember that. I'm so glad you brought that up.
You
Oh.
see his little feet dangling, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, it reminded me of you're reading Game of Thrones right now, and there's a scene really early on where Tyrion is sitting on a like a wall, and Jon
Yeah.
Snow comes out, and Tyrion does this like somersault thing, like he gymnastics off of the wall, and he never does anything like that again in the books. It's so weird. He describes him like somersaulting and then springing back onto his feet and like doing a handstand and stuff, and it's like, what the fuck?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, it was so weird.
he
I love
recently
it when
watched
books-
Willy Wonka and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory before he wrote that part of the book.
Totally, it totally is Willy Wonka. Yep.
It's
Yep.
those like little things that just like make it. I just love it. That's one of my favorite parts in the book.
It like wouldn't work in the movie, but
No.
I love it.
It could totally work in the movie. He's shorter than everybody else anyway.
Yeah, but if you see him swinging his legs in the helicopter or whatever, like
That'd be
that's
great.
next to
in the
Jeff
beginning when
Goldblum.
He's already all
It
giddy
adds-
anyway.
Yeah, it
Just
adds
makes
to
him
his
look even
like
more childlike.
childlike.
You know how they do that though? Is he sits on the counter of the trailer of Ellie and Grant, and he swings his legs. He does. He puts himself up on the counter. I just realized that. That's interesting. They totally tried to like do a little homage to the leg swinging.
I was gonna say I haven't.
We got to rewatch the movie.
Watched the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are we doing that this weekend?
Yeah. And I will say another reason, like great groundwork. Michael Crichton's a G. We love him, but the movie's better. Another way to notch the movie a little higher, the goddamn score. The
Oh my
Michael
God.
the
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
the theme? You know.
the music is so good.
Yep.
It just brings back that child in me. Every time I watch this movie, it's like, oh fuck yeah, dude.
And anytime if you start doing like na 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 na, like people are like, oh fuck yeah, Jurassic Park, hell yeah.
Yeah. There's so many different tracks, and then the sound design. But you know, sure, it's cool seeing like the T-Rexes and stuff in the book and the raptors, but like the CGI of them and the screen, like the growling that they've, watched the behind the scenes, and they said they put like a jet engine and a lion roar, and like they just stacked all these crazy sounds together to make the T-Rex roar, and it just sounds so good.
Yeah.
It's so fun to find out, like, oh, the T-Rex roar was a mix of like so many different sounds.
It's like
coming
16 different
together.
things. Yeah.
Instead of just like a dog bark in slow motion or something. I don't know. So,
It's like finding
Yeah.
out that the lion roaring at the beginning of the movies isn't actually a lion roar.
Yeah.
ooh,
The Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Mayor
MGM lion,
Yeah.
that's not the sound of
MGM.
a lion.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been lied to.
They
You've
do
been
roar, but
duped.
that is not a lion's roar. They don't sound like that.
Bro, I was at the zoo a couple weekends ago, and a lion roared, and it literally shook the ground. Like
Oh my
it,
God.
it was so insane. Like I've never experienced anything like that. It scared the shit out of Vivian. It scared the shit out of me. I don't know
Okay,
what
now
it was doing,
imagine-
Doing
Now
its job,
imagine-
scaring the shit out of you.
dude. I
That just
couldn't
reminds me of
believe.
the T-Rex scene in the movie where you don't know the T-Rex. Well, you know the T-Rex is coming because you see the water in the cup start to ripple. You know.
Love that shit. I used to do that in the car, put a little glass up there, and then like bang the dashboard and make it look like that. I was obsessed with doing that.
You're such a child, and I love it.
hmm Oh man, my
you
childhood
can
friend.
see-
Yeah, what
You can-
dinosaur is
You
it?
can kind of see the kit I got. Oops.
I can't see it.
Nope.
Orange dot, orange rectangle,
There's some numbers.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a tiny ass T-Rex, dude.
Yeah, it's the baby
Yeah,
one from the
it's-
book.
It's like a real baby one.
It's real. These
Instead
are
of 8
real.
feet tall, it's 8 inches tall.
These are real
Yeah.
plastic dinosaur bones.
Real plastic.
Wow.
Real plastic.
So, having gone through the bulk of this, I know you're not done. Would you do that again if you had the opportunity? Are you enjoying it?
This one is super fun.
Cool.
And I think it would be cool, like get a bunch of kits together, but then divide them up and not know which one you get. It would be kind of a cool thing to do at a party if I were interested in parties, but I don't like to interact with people.
I'm
so
interested in
that's fun.
parties.
If I wanted to interact with other human beings, I might propose we do such a thing in a room together without actually interacting.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. You get me. You get it. This is the most human interaction I get. This is.
I'm amazed at the amount of dust that
I'm-
came off
Yep.
that brick.
Like I said, I would have had out a vacuum like 7 or 8 times by now to clean that shit up. I could not have done this. So I'm glad you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Is there a brand of this that you're doing?
Yeah. Let me show you the box.
Like, who makes this?
Let's make her touch
no,
all the
don't
things
touch-
with her dirty
Don't touch
hands.
those hands.
Okay, that's the first one that
It
comes
was-
up on Google.
Or I'm not touching everything. Yeah, so this is cool. Oh, here we go. The name Tyrannosaurus means tyrant lizard, and
Yep.
Rex means king.
Knew that.
That's in the book.
It's out of stock?
I can just go. Do you want one?
Yeah.
The last one.
I can go.
I want to
get you
do it
one.
with
You should
Vivian.
watch
I
it.
bet she would love this.
What would she like? Because they had. What did I sent you guys a picture. It was the T-Rex, the Stegosaurus, and a Triceratops. I think.
I mean, I probably
sounds
would have
right.
gone T-Rex. I'm a basic bitch. I think I said
Classic.
that when you asked.
Yep. I was like so upset that the picture and stuff wasn't loading because I was in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you ever
that
played
was a
the-
great?
Are we done? I thought you still had to dig. I'm vamping.
I mean, I'm still digging. If people want to hear us just like randomly talk about bullshit.
I had a
I was
question
gonna-
and I forgot it a long time ago. I've been trying to think of it again.
I was
He's
gonna
been
say, have you guys ever
derailed.
played a Jurassic Park video game?
Yes,
Which one?
No.
the one for Sega. For the Genesis.
Yeah.
Like, yes, me too. I loved that game.
I never got very far in it because I didn't own a Sega Genesis, but my neighbor had one, and so I got to play it at his house when I'd go babysit.
I played the shit out of that game.
Yep.
It was
I played it
like
on Super Nintendo.
He was my
The new
little
dinosaur
brother's
game,
like best
The
friend,
Isle?
and I'd get to go over there and babysit occasionally because I was the oldest kid that they knew.
Mhm.
And so they're like, "Hey, you want to come babysit? We'll give you like $20 or whatever." And I'm like, "Sure, I'll come play y'all's video games while you're gone.
Mhm.
Twist my
Make
arm.
your kids watch me play your video games."
In college, I found at a Value Village a the original Jurassic Park board game, and
Oh,
it's
shit.
basically
That's the
like
thing.
Risk, kind of, except for dinosaurs are naturally on the board and you are survivors, and you have to like make your way from a certain point on the island. Like the whole board is the island Nublar, and you have to make your way to the fucking whatever it's called, the
Distraction.
visitor center.
That's
Um,
cool.
Yeah, but one night I got too drunk and I threw up on it, and I had to throw it
Why'd
away.
you gotta do that? Why'd you have to do that, man?
I don't
So-
know.
This is a thing that sort of annoys me from my youth because like I'm learning about it later. But the Super NES game Jurassic Park was not the same game that we got on Genesis. They were
Really?
They were
I
two
played the
different
Super
games.
Nintendo one.
Right. Yeah. Yes. So Sega had a side-scrolling platformer. Super NES had an isometric, like when you're outside, and first person when you're inside. Like they were
Yep.
two different games.
But they're both just called Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Damn.
The one for SNES, I think, was actually made by a different company too, versus like for Sega, it was made by Blue Sky Software. Yeah, 'cause
Damn.
I was looking at the game. I was like, wait, I don't remember that game being on SNES. I was like, oh yeah, this game was only on Game Gear and Genesis. I was like, I started looking. I was like, oh, because there was a different Jurassic Park game on SNES. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, and let's not forget the world famous arcade shooter Jurassic Park.
Oh hell yeah! That's like Dave and Buster's still.
Yeah.
Actually, it
They're
is
bringing 'em
legitimately at my Chuck E. Cheese. It's legitimately at our Chuck E. Cheese.
I played it in June on my cruise. The cruise ship had that on in the arcade on the cruise ship.
It never goes out of style, man.
I played
That's
it with
awesome.
a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
That's funny.
That one was in so the Genesis game was in 1993. The Rails shooter game was in 1994. That one was also made
Yeah.
by Sega.
And makes no sense because there's almost no shooting in the movie.
But there should have been.
Right.
We talked about
Yes,
this.
I agree. There should have been. Yeah, there should have been.
I
That's
think-
funny.
Also,
Is
in
it
the movie,
the
they
way
kill
that
off Muldoon
Nedry-
so much earlier than in the book.
Yeah. Well, did Nedry died the same way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
His death is the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Which,
But
which it shows that it's a good death to keep it the same between the two.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah, I
like
actually
the
enjoyed
lawyer's toilet
his.
death in the movie.
Oh, dude,
Mm-hmm.
the best death scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Iconic.
One of the few
This was
things
a
I remember.
good- This was a good month's read.
I love that line too in the movie where, which I don't think is in the book, but he's like, I brought all you scientists here to see dinosaurs, and the only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
good
think
line.
that was in the book, no, but yeah. I was also disappointed that in the book, when they're trying to get past all of Nedry's
Firewalls.
firewalls and backdoor security stuff he
Eh, eh,
implemented,
eh.
it never once does it do that. It never taunts them. It just doesn't do what they want it to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, hold on to your butts. It's the
At least
same
life
transporter,
finds a
though.
way.
There was no arm on the when they finally got in to turn on the power. There wasn't an
Yep.
arm just hanging there.
Yep, that was Sam Jackson's arm because he runs out there. Yeah. But isn't it the same shaving cream can?
Yes,
I think
that's
so.
the same.
Barbasol.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think, and also wasn't it the same kind of scene where it was just like, this guy is from the CIA. See, nobody cares.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah,
part.
the
Dodson.
same
We
too,
got
yeah.
Dodson here. Fun fact: that scene is filmed on a very small beach in Kauai, which I got to go to, and I stood right where they're sitting in the movie.
What?
Yeah, and I
You
took a
were
picture. I
there.
lined it up. I pulled up the scene on my phone and I took a picture and I lined it up exactly. So I was right where the tree was.
You know, it's funny you say that. I didn't go to that location, but I too have been to Kauai, and we did a hike. And one of the
Where?
main features of the hike was it's where he discovers the eggs, one of the egg groups.
Oh.
So I got to
I know exactly what you're talking about.
see
Kauai
where
is
the
so
eggs
small.
hatch. It's such
That's
a
pretty
nice.
cool.
It's like less touristy. It's very nice.
Oh yes, it's very, very less touristy. Well, we certainly underestimated how long it would take to dig up a dinosaur. Shout out to Grant and Ellie doing the real work.
heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, now I have a lot more respect for why it took them millions of dollars to run that operation.
Yeah.
They were.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody is paying me millions of dollars. That's for sure.
You're gonna break that dinosaur bone off, lady.
I don't know what part this one is.
It's the
The plastic
pelvis.
I thought
Elvis's
was
pelvis.
like-
It's the dick.
Jeez.
perfect. So, anyway.
That's right. These are not all female dinosaur bones.
So, do we want to talk about next month's book?
I do.
Go ahead, girly.
V8. So folks who may or may not know, viewers and listeners on the podcast, up to now, typically, we started our first couple books. We picked, we actually read the first 3 or 4 books from the Warcraft Horus Heresy books. Warhammer Horus Heresy books. Sorry, please don't roast me.
I was going to correct you, but you corrected yourself.
And then from there, we branched out and we tried different genres, and we tried, we did sort of a random pick system where everybody put in a couple books ideas, and Annie went through and did like a randomized picker to pick a book, but we all had to submit a book from a specific genre. We've reached the point where we want to change it up again, and we're going to work on a rotating basis, so where each month one person gets to pick the book. That way everybody gets a fair chance at putting books in the rotation, and it's not left up to chance that somebody may never get their book picked. So, that being said, we have already chosen V8 gets to pick our next book for next month. Do you want to tell us more about it and what it is and the author?
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that. I chose Seven Eves. It is a sort of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi book.
Is it
don't know,
part of a
I
series or is it just one?
I don't know the answer to that. I was not prepared.
It doesn't say. So
I don't think so. I think it's a solo.
Seven Eves is a science fiction novel by Neil Stephenson, published in 2015. The story tells of the desperate efforts to preserve Homo sapiens in the wake of apocalyptic events on Earth after the unexplained disintegration of the moon and the remaking of human society as a space-based civilization after a severe genetic bottleneck.
Yeah, and it's got the best opening sentence to a book ever,
Okay.
which is just that.
Don't ruin it. Let me read it.
Well,
don't-
yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
No spoilers.
but I wanna.
Let me see. Let me see if I've
So
already
that
got
will
it.
be. Wait. What month are we in?
It is. I will warn everybody now. It is a long one. The audiobook is like 35 hours.
Good Lord. Okay.
Oh, gee.
Thank you
Gotta
for
get
the
our
warning.
shit together.
Yeah, no waiting till the last minute this time, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm working on it. Okay.
Look,
It's
I
been a
got
rough
one.
month. God damn it.
I am not complaining. You are free to do your book reading however you want to.
I've got the ebook available and the audiobook.
Yeah.
Nice. On this podcast is not supported by Everand, but that's the platform I choose to use for reading digital books and listening to audiobooks, and it's on there.
I wanted to get the head out.
Yeah. Hashtag not
Audiobook
sponsored.
is also on YouTube.
There you go. Oh yeah, so for
3
folks out there
parts.
listening, Jurassic Park, the audiobook is available on YouTube. It was great.
Yes, and make sure you are paying attention when you move from one to the other, because the other Park books are also on YouTube. And if you're not paying attention, it will start the next section of a different book. You won't catch it right away because it's still talking about dinosaurs.
I actually fell asleep listening to the audiobook one night and then like woke up and I was like, fuck, I don't know where I was. I had to like scroll back through and find like the last thing I remembered hearing.
The Lost World has a very similar cover for the audiobook as well, and I almost started the wrong part 2.
14 hours according to my, how's that true? The ebook is 14 hours, it says. The audiobook is 31 hours and 55 minutes. What?
Yeah, I have 30 hours as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overestimating, or maybe
No,
Audible has extra stuff that y'all don't have on there.
The
'cause I got
audiobook
mine on
is
Audible.
33 hours. It is there. It's just for some reason it gives me an hour amount on the ebook as well, which seems weird. 1,072 pages on the ebook. Wow.
31 hours and 55 minutes
Yeah.
on Audible. Yeah,
Yep. Same timeline.
yeah. I overestimated a little bit, which makes it a little bit of a less of a blow when you see the real time.
I'm down with
It's on purpose.
right now, and I will start listening to that probably tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll enjoy it. I've read it
you.
once, about 7 years ago. It was, I think, 2 or 3 years old when I read to it the first time.
2015.
So, yeah, but I didn't listen to it then. It was a couple years old at the time, but it's been quite a while. I don't really remember the majority of it, so I get to listen to it again.
And there's multiple narrators, so that's interesting.
Yes. It is broken. So the book is broken up into 3 parts, and each part has a different narrator.
Oh. Okay.
Because you're hearing from a different person's perspective.
And this is the same author as Snow Crash, which is on the shelf behind me that I need to read at some point.
Yeah, I won't go into any more detail than that because some of it will be a spoiler if I explain it. But there are 3 different narrators. Or 3 different voices. I don't remember how many people are actually narrating. in the audio.
This says
But
2
there's
narrators.
at least a male and a
Mary
yeah.
Robinette
I think the
Kowal
guy-
and Will Damron.
Yeah, and I want to say Will does the beginning and then the end, but it's 2 different people.
Weird.
All right, what were you about to say?
Cool,
Andy?
cool.
It makes sense at the
well, I
time. When
was
you
just
get to it,
gonna-
it makes sense.
wrap it up. Thanks for being here. This was really a fun discussion. This was a fun project. Movie was better. But yeah.
Unfortunately,
Appreciate
it
Watch party this weekend.
Yep.
watch party this
Yeah.
weekend.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Thanks to my
So good.
co-host.
You only
Thanks
need like
for the
2 notes, and
chat.
everybody knows exactly what movie it is.
Dun, 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 dun. Shout out John Williams, dude.
That fucking John
Goat.
Williams is a legend. He is the man.
He's a goat.
Goated.
Goated.
He's a goat.
Goated.
Meh.
All right, let's rate out. We've got a couple viewers. It looks like Casual is streaming. I was thinking of going there. Do y'all have anybody else that you would like us to rate out to?
No.
All right.
Casual was a
Casual
good
works.
choice.
Kiki was online, but she's not now, so casual
Ah.
works.
We didn't see her.
And we got Cash.
Cage.
Hey.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Oops.
Check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and we are most likely on those platforms. Mess Hall Hangout. Come back next month for our next book club adventure. All right. Thank you all. Love you. Bye. Kicking off the raid here in just a second. Gotta find Casual.
Look at that T-Rex.
Raid is started.
I thought it would be bigger.
Yeah, I'm a little underwhelmed. Yeah, it's still cool. I like it. I would definitely.
Looks like
shut up.
the movie got it wrong.
What?
T-Rexes are actually only calf height. They lied.
All right.
Yep.
They
Ca-
lied.
Casual.
It's
is
no wonder
doing
they're extinct. Look how small they are.
software and
Little
game
bitches.
development. V8. I think you'll probably stick around there.
Yeah.
Let's develop some software.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
What a great discussion and very messy meeting for me. It was nice to have the movie to compare to how the different characters were shaped. Never underestimate what greed and power can do when money is no object. Let's just throw caution to the wind. Even if you've watched the movie a million times, read the book too. It is truly a classic. Thank you for joining us, and please come back next time for a sci-fi adventure, Seven Eves by Neil Stevenson.